It's time, isn't it?
It is.
All right, here we go. This is something we couldn't show you before, but we can show you now. The Arturia PolyBrute 12. And who have we got here today?
I'm Noé from Arturia.
And I'm Adam from Mars Music.
Yay. Oh yeah, that's right. Well, amazing. Well, it's needed two of them because this is quite a heavy beast, and it's a truly massive analog synth, not only in terms of heft and presence, but in sound. And we're going to get a bit of a demo here.
Yeah.
And before we get deeper, so Adam, you're a longtime Arturia owner. What have you got?
I've got the PolyBrute.
What do you think? Are you feeling synth envy yet?
Yeah, I really like the color of this one actually versus the one that I've got. So the appearance-wise, straight out of the box, was striking.
It's rather striking. And what's the big feature you're going to show us in a moment here?
The big feature is this fully new design Arturia keyboard that uses MPE, and it's the first analog polysynth with MPE. So that allows you to get some huge dynamics, amazing expressivity that's totally unmatched anywhere else.
Yeah, and it was so amazing when we were getting ready to shoot the video, just having this thin sheet on it was enough to actually begin triggering some of the keys.
Yeah, it triggers on the very top of the key. I'm barely pressing the key, and all the way down across the full range of the key, you're gonna be able to have some expression there. And that's something that is amazing. It doesn't exist anywhere else. It's fully new, and yeah, you just start playing and you get this massive feeling, this really organic feeling as well. Sounds like you're really getting in touch with your sound without the need of having to go through LFOs, controls, envelopes.
Yeah, in a funny way, I mean, with me playing it for a moment too, it's kind of like, it's almost like a more wooden or somehow more tangible instrument. There's a greater level of expressiveness with this keyboard than anything I've experienced before. So we will get out of the way and let the master from Arturia show us the synth some more. But it really sounds absolutely amazing, and that's the most important part.
But it's, yeah, So in a nutshell, it's PolyBrute 6. I mean, the original PolyBrute was 6 voices. This one has 12 analog voices, so it's fully analog. Same layout as PolyBrute, a few buttons more, but it's because we have a main new feature that is absolutely killer that we called FullTouch. First PolyBrute only had mono aftertouch, so we wanted to have the next one with poly. And the guys at Arturia were like, turns out we can do much more than just poly aftertouch with the technology we have. And they made this, you can select the aftertouch mods. So mono, poly. Poly, you control aftertouch differently with each one of your fingers. And this FullTouch mode makes controlling the instrument amazingly expressive, because when you're going to touch a note, it's going to trigger on the very top of the note. I'm not applying any pressure here. It's really... That means you can control any kind of parameter across the full travel of the key. And that allows for incredible dynamics. I'm hardly pressing on the keys now. And if I dive further in,
I've never quite heard or seen anything like that on a synthesizer.
Normal. It doesn't exist anywhere else. It's the first analog synth with an MPE keyboard, because that's what it's using. It's this new MIDI specification that, yeah, just takes MIDI to the next level and takes your control to the next level. And what we made here allows for expressivity like you've never seen before. And it's a regular synth layout. It's a regular synth keyboard, so you don't have to get used to something different. You can also just switch back to regular aftertouch, whether it's mono or poly. And it's a really potent 12-voice analog synth.
So if you liked the original PolyBrute, this is taking it to a whole next level, but just the sound being in the room, it's got that warmth and depth and dynamics.
Yeah.
So really, if you're in the market for a classic singing and dancing, you know, all bells and whistles, analog poly synth, this is really a huge contender.
It's bringing something more to what is today analog synthesis with this kind of control. You don't have these expressive capabilities on any other synth. It's really amazing. We had some guys crying trying this one, and you can easily understand that when you play it.
Absolutely. And what's up with the little vents on top, by the way?
So we didn't want to have this annoying little fan noise when you play. So yeah, we worked on the heat aspect of this synth like never before. And we actually tried several layouts, but this one was the final one with the vents here. Mm-hmm. Gives it a nice form factor. What it uses is a chimney effect. So basically, when it's heating up, because it's going to heat up, it's 12 analog voices.
Right. It's going to heat up, yeah.
These vents do that just fine by sucking the air here. It's a chimney effect. The air just, there's an airflow, a constant airflow. So it's going to be fine on stage, actually. It's going to be fine in studio. That just works.
Absolutely. Well, I like that. It's a classic solution to an analog.
It's a pretty simple and straightforward solution. It's just to give you a taste of what is this FullTouch mode. Mm-hmm. You can really control. For example, here the full course, the full travel of the note is mapped to this LFO speed, the rate. Mm-hmm. So I'm barely pressing the key here, and as I dive further in...
Wow.
Yeah.
So again, it's blending these, which is Arturia is so good at this, is blending the studio and the live performance world in one instrument.
Yeah, it's going to be great for studio. It's going to be great for stage. I mean, it works on stage. There's plenty of creative features that are useful for live sets. There's a sequencer that you can actually visualize on the matrix. Makes it super easy to program. There's an ARP. Yeah, there's everything you need on stage. This is, however, a super potent sound design tool. And what's interesting is that you don't have to fumble, you don't have to dive into a menu to assign your modulation. It's all going to be right here.
Yeah, beautiful.
So if I've got, for example, my strings patch right here that I love, I'm going to go to mods. Imagine that I want to have a little bend on the aftertouch, I'm just gonna do this. And now. Turn that up to 12.
This is the kind of thing you'd have to try to imagine it and then go to the studio, assign a bunch of controls and map it out. Now you can do it with your fingers.
Yeah, it's super easy to program, but you can get started right out of the box because it's a bit less than 500 presets made specially for PolyBrute, and those are really outstanding presets that were made specially. We've got a full department at Arturia making those presets, and those are just mind-blowing. The first one is just... You immediately get this huge and massive feeling, and yeah, that's because that's what PolyBrute 12 is about. And yeah.
Well, this is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing this first behind-the-scenes look of the PolyBrute 12. Sadly, we can't keep this one, but...
yeah, that's one of the only ones in the world right now.
Yeah, that's amazing, but I certainly can't wait to get one. I mean, this is, I love poly and mono synths, and Arturia makes some great ones, but I think this is going to be the king of Arturia's poly synths. And if you loved any of the previous ones, you're certainly going to enjoy this. But if you've been sitting on the fence, check out the PolyBrute 12 when it's in stores. I think you might just fall in love.
And please come try it. Really get to know this FullTouch mode. It's awesome.
Yeah, and you'll have to stand in line because I'll probably be playing with it nonstop when our first one comes in. So thanks again. I'm Marcus from Ars Music, and you are?
Noé from Arturia.
Oh, thanks so much for making the trip and for showing us the PolyBrute 12.
Thanks for inviting me.
Anytime. See you again sometime.
Yeah.